So we're doing another taste test today. Let's get into that. I think I'm going to go with the Brownie brittle first because I imagine that's going to have a little less of a heavy flavor to it, like the bark thins might, and the cocoa mousse filled chocolate bar. So this is likely to be a more, I want to say, bread-like or cracker-like consistency. So some of the nuance may be lost if we eat it another way first. So let's give this a try. Yes, they essentially look like crackers, like a graham cracker almost. So these are dark chocolate and sea salt. I was going to say, it has a very non-milk chocolate smell to it. Very cocoa. Okay. So this is very similar. At first I was like, this is sort of like a chocolate flavored graham cracker. Not quite an Oreo cookie part without the cream. But as I'm tasting it, I get more of a sense of if you bake a pan of brownies and you go a little too far, like it's gooey in the center, but when you get towards the end of that crust at the end of the brownies and you're trying to cut the brownies and it's like sawing through balsa wood, and you break a piece off and you get those crunchy bits of brownie. They're like brownie croutons, I guess. They are all rectangular, it appears. And it's not like a brittle. It's not like a solid, hard thing. There's definitely some sort of lighter cracker texture to it. Okay, let's try the bark thins. Am I doing this right? Is there another way to open this? Okay, so these feel more like a brittle or just like a chocolate melt over something. So in this case, it's a dark chocolate mint. So imagine it's going to taste like dark chocolate with mint in it. Yeah, it's essentially just a dark chocolate poured over crushed candy cane. Although I will say, the dark chocolate has a different feel to it, texture-wise. And the mint has a crispness to it that suggests that it's like a real made mint, not like a lot of artificial mint flavor. It might be partly, let's see, dark chocolate. So chocolate liqueur, sugar, cocoa butter, soy lecithin, and vanilla. Peppermint candy, rice syrup, sugar, coconut oil, peppermint oil, and soy lecithin. Fair trade certified, non-GMO. Looks like that they do an almond. A pretzel would be interesting to try. Coconut, almond, peanut, pumpkin seed I'd be curious about. It's all right. It's somewhat tasty. That's definitely denser than the brownie brittle. I could eat that bag of brownie brittle in a sitting. That's more like eating 5 candy bars out of a bag. It's a little bit harder for me to get behind. Well, it's a little bit harder for me to imagine snacking on that. That's like you get a little bit when you're looking for a treat. Okay, this one is a cocoa mousse filled milk chocolate from Ritter Sport. I've never actually had a Ritter Sport, and we used to have them where I worked, and we had somebody would come in like once a month and buy 30 of them, essentially one for a day for a month. And he said they were just simply one of the best chocolates, and they were harder to find the different types in other places. You might find one or two, but you wouldn't find them all. And we carried them. Ooh, wow, these are big. So let's break off a square. Oh, wow. I don't know that I would call it a mousse per se, but it's actually pretty close. It reminds me a lot of the filling for a Three Musketeers bar, but better. A Three Musketeers bar has a springiness nougat, like a springiness to its nougat that it uses. This doesn't have the springiness, but it has a smoothness. It's not like grainy. It's like if you were to take the filling from a Three Musketeer bar and cross it with a fudge, but it doesn't have the graininess of a fudge. It doesn't have the springiness of the nougat. It's smooth, creamy, and it's not aerated as near as I can tell. Or if it is, it's small, like micro air bubbles that just give it a lighter flavor. It's not even as much as like a whipped cream aeration to it. It just really feels like a smooth, like it's almost like a whisper of chocolate air across your tongue. But you can see it sort of has like a crumble to it. Not really a crumble, because that would imply like a texture. That comes across as just pure smooth. You know what it's like? It's very similar to a chocolate pudding. But it doesn't even have some of that liquid flow to it. It's like it's pure taste without any real sense of texture of its own. It's very smooth. It does take a second to start to melt. So in that split second, you get a sense of there might be something there. Like it resists a bite or a lick. But then it's silky. I like that. And the thing about it is, their chocolate doesn't have some of those harsh tones to it that some chocolates can have. It's not acidic. It's not bitter. It's just, it's very similar to a Dove chocolate, but different in some ways. They have like 6 or 7 other varieties of that. I think I'm glad I chose this one. I'd say the brownie, well, the bark thins I would probably rate had a 5.2 out of a 5.5. I'm just going to keep this in the cupboard and occasionally grab a piece when I need a little bit of something to kick me. With a little chocolate, dark chocolate especially, and some mint. This one, I just ate 3 squares, so I don't know how long it's going to last, but I would say this is probably a 6.2 out of a 6.4. And these, I don't know, that's tough. Like, I don't know that I would chase this often, but it's nice when you have it. And the thing about it for me, I think, is it meets a need that can be met with stuff I can do myself. So just pouring a thin bit of brownie batter on the bottom of a pan and toasting it in the oven would do most of this. So I don't know that I need to purchase it. I would say, that aside, I would probably give it a 5.3 out of 5.6. Thank you for joining me, and see you for the next episode.